Hi, I'm Laura from Get Organized HQ, and for the past 10 years, I've literally made a living reviewing hundreds of organizing products and tools and also using them in my own home. Things ranging from the Dollar Tree to the most luxurious bins money can buy. And I have found one item that trumps them all. And I'm even going to show you 52 things you can organize using this ultimate organizing product. Now, I could have kept going, but 52 is about all I had time to show you. And I always say if I were stranded on a desert island and I could only have one organizing product to help me, this would be it. It's called the multi-purpose bin. You can buy it in store or online at the Container Store. And I just want to go ahead and dive in and show you all the different ways that you can use it, and then we'll review some specifics. My absolute favorite place to use these is the office. These are the shelves you see in all my photos and videos. You can see we have notebooks, folders, file folders, labels, all sorts of things. And then this is my friend's office, and you'll see how she has them down there in lower cabinets. They fit great there. She has her Bible study supplies for her family, and because they have handles, it's really easy to take out and take it to the table or wherever you want to do stuff. Command hooks are a favorite of mine, and they fit great in these bins. Notebooks of any kind, even 3-ring binders fit well in there. These are those Avery kind of sticker sheets that you print on, and again, it's almost like the bin was made for them. These are holding my poly envelopes. I have an entire video about that, and zipper pouches. And then this is my closet in my craft room, holding all different types of crafts, little wooden cutouts, chalk couture supplies, of course, my beloved vinyl that I use my Silhouette and Cricut machines to cut. These are huge rolls of vinyl, but they fit great in these bins. This is my kids' game and craft closet, and actually, no, we did not clean this closet up for you. This is literally what my closet looks like at any given day. It's not perfect, but it's very nice using these bins with labels to keep everything really organized. And then whenever we want something, we pull it out. There's a table on the other side of the room, so we can just take the bin where we need it and work on it there. We have games, school stuff, sticker books, craft supplies, toys, patterns in a sewing room. Really, it's like the bin was made for patterns. You can see how ideally that they fit in there in this large sized bin with just the right amount of space on the sides. This is a work in progress bin in my mom's sewing room. You always need works in progress bin because you're always going to have it and you don't want it strewn all about. So she's got various sizes of pouches to hold those, and then she puts those all in the bin to keep them contained. Here's another view of, you can see her patterns, but above that, you can see that she has threads above that, and a little bit below that, she has several things, so it's all uniform. Here she has our fabric folded, which I think just looks really nice, but she's using those bins on their side to kind of keep the fabric all contained so it's not kind of falling over to one side or the other because the stacks are kind of tall. Here's another view of that thread. This is like those big bolts of thread. They fit nicely. I don't even know what you call this, odds and ends of ribbons and things just tossed into the bin. This is another view of my craft supplies. These are all chalk couture silk screens organized in pouches in little photo boxes. This is party supplies, those crepe papers that fit great in here. You can also do napkins and things like that for parties, kids, Play-Doh, all in one bin. We have the accessories in a separate bin. Water Wows, one of my favorite kids activities. If you had nothing else, get these. They're perfect for absolutely everything. Sticker books, all in one bin. Moving on with more toys, we have their kinetic sand in here, all their tools and the actual sand in Ziploc bags. Here is my daughter's Light Bright, so we can keep all the pegs, the papers, and the actual Light Bright in one place. And then here in this cabinet, there is several multi-purpose bins in there to hold kids' activity books. Kitchens and pantries are the ideal place for these bins. And to me, this is the lazy, easy way to organize your pantry. Just put the bins in here. It doesn't even matter if you actually micro-organize. It already looks more uniform and tidy. Here it is in another pantry. This one, I love the labels. It's double layered vinyl labels. And you can see how even on these wire shelves, which are very typical, nothing is going to fall through. It gives it a nice structure. And then yet again in another pantry here, this is like a entry, and these are like kind of utility shelves, so kind of like you made your own pantry. And so many bins are used in here to keep both cleaning supplies and foods corralled. Cleaning bottles and little accessories fit nicely. Cake mixes are absolutely the perfect size. You can see what you have. Paper plates kind of filed in there so you can get to different kinds. Then we have ready rice packets that stand up really nice. You can even thumb through them. Crackers, I highly recommend you take it out of the packaging. It'll save so much space. Ziploc bags waiting to be used. Chips in the large ones so that they're all in one place and not just scooting around your pantry. These are suckers. Don't ask me why I have so many. They are mine. I went a little overboard buying them. These are plastic silverware, again, out of the packaging. We have one for forks, spoons, and knives. Bottles of things like soy sauce fit nicely in the small ones. Pasta fits very well in these. You can store quite a bit in just one. And then canned goods also fit really well in here. You might not think about this, but these are also great in the car. Here we have kids activities for like a road trip, but it also fits in the back of cars for like backup outfits and things like that. And you can see just how many different activities we're able to fit. Sometimes I also have a smaller one for each kid, so they can have the activities right by them and easily knowing which one is which. This is in our entryway where we have our coats, and then above that we have one for each member of our family, and it has things that you need when you're going out the door, like hats, gloves, headphones for each of the kids. And then this is Malachi at his desk. He has some magnet tiles and a marble factory right there. And then when he's done, he can go easily put the whole bin in a closet or somewhere if he doesn't want it out on his desk. This is Zeb, has diapers and wipes. And look at how nicely the diapers and wipes fit in there. And he's so cute showing you that. And then these are my nieces and nephews cleaning up their toys, just showing how easy it is to just throw everything in the bin when you're done playing, which is so important when it comes to kids' toys and their rooms. And Jubilee is showing you how she has them in her closet. She has a couple for her doll clothes that she can just throw them in. She doesn't have to like go through some complicated process. Here's some homeschool books in one. I've always used these in my laundry room, and this is my mom's laundry room. You can see how there are cleaning supplies and various laundry supplies. This is my laundry room, and we've got dusters and all sorts of things organized in them. It's also great for dryer balls because they tend to roll around. I know that under sinks can be a really tricky area to organize, and this makes it a lot easier. You can go around your piping and things like that, especially using the skinny one, and see how little space this whole thing of dishwasher pods takes up. And then your under sink cleaning supplies, you can just pull the bin out to get to the things in the back. And rags, you can just keep all of your rags in one place. And here it is in a linen closet. I love the nice labels on there. Another linen closet with all sorts of medicines and toiletries and things like that. And here we have a whole bunch of over-the-counter medicines all together. Even though they're not super organized within there, you know it's in there. And then extra toiletries like razors and Kleenexes and things like that are all easy to access in here. And in freezers, this is a great use. All different sizes of freezers can keep like items corralled for you. You can see how nicely the meat fits in there. Now that I've shown you all the uses for these bins, let's go ahead and talk about the specifics. So the first thing to note is that they come in 4 different sizes. The first 3 are what I call the standard size, and the extra large is kind of on its own. So they're all the exact same depth. They're all the exact same height, these 3, and they vary in width. So this is the small size here. This is the medium size, and I feel like the medium and large look pretty similar. So that's the size of the medium and large. Then our last size is the extra large, and it is a little bit unique in that it is actually deeper than the rest of the bin. So if you had them, like if I line them up in the back, you can see how the extra large is a little bit deeper and obviously quite a bit wider. It's still the exact same height. That extra depth, I actually like. That means that you can place hanging files across here. You can literally place the hanging files, or I like to put poly envelopes in there so it expands what you're able to fit in there. They also come in clear plastic, which I personally love because it's just very neutral, kind of goes with anything. And every single one of these also comes in a dark kind of smoky, I think they call it smoke color, so it's like almost a black plastic. And I saw that only one size of the bins, I believe it's the large, comes in really fun bright colors for like kids' rooms, so they'll do some seasonal and occasional different colors. Now, one other thing I will say about this size with a 13-inch depth is that it fits on a lot of standard shelves, but not all. So some shelves it might hang off by like an inch or so, which personally bothers me. On my Leotorp shelves that I have from IKEA in my office, there's no hangover. Also on the like cube style shelves, like the IKEA Calyx, and there's tons of knockoffs. They're plenty deep and there is no hanging off. Also, they do not fit in standard upper cabinets. They're too deep to fit in there, but most other spaces, they will fit nicely. Now, one thing that I look in any organizing bin that I'm trying to find is I want to see how much they slope down at the bottom. So you can see like they're touching at the top and there's a tiny gap here at the very bottom, like I could fit my finger in it, and that's all. That means they slope inward just a little bit, but not very much at all. So it's not like a perfect cube on the bottom, which means that they stack inside each other. They nest for storage. So many bins that you will find have that little bit of a slope or a lot bit of a slope for nesting purposes. It makes them easier for them to transport to the store and then, you know, once they're in the store and things like that. But if it slopes a lot, you lose storage space. Like this is just wasted space. So these, I'm very happy with the slope. I feel like they've found a happy medium. Like there's a slight slope. Yes, I can nest them when I'm storing them and save some space, but it's not so ridiculous that it's really wasting a whole lot of my storage space. These are made out of like a plastic that's pretty sturdy. Now you can see it's a little flexible. Like if I push on it, it's gonna bend. So it's not completely rigid or brittle. But I will tell you, I've been using these extensively for 10 years and I've never had one break or crack or anything like that. So I'm very happy with the quality of the plastic. That's not something that I can say about everything. And also the fact that it has handles. A lot of these, I find myself moving in and out all the time. Like I'll take something out of the closet, set it on the table. And so we're really getting heavy use out of a lot of these. And the last thing I want to note about these is if you're anything like me, you're probably going to want to label them, right? And when you first look at them, I'll turn this over so you can really see it. There's not necessarily a great place for a label. If you're into vinyl labels, you could put one right there or right there, but it's not going to be able to be very big. And depending on what is in the bin, might depend on what color you need to use. So my favorite are these little clip-on labels from Amazon. They're super affordable. They're very flexible. They just kind of literally clip on. I have put black vinyl on this one. So I clip it onto the handles like this. And that's how I label most of these. You can also use dry erase markers on these labels. That's what they were originally intended for. I don't prefer that because I feel like if your like hand brushes over it, it can kind of mess it up. And I also felt like it left a little residue if I really did want to reuse them, whereas I can take off the vinyl completely without a residue. So that's how I choose to label these. Now let's talk about how you can actually get your hands on these. These are Container Store exclusive, so you can only get them there. Don't let that scare you. I know that the Container Store tends to be on the higher end of prices, but for this store, these are actually one of the more affordable items, and they're gonna cost you a lot less than a wooden or those clear acrylic bins, which is great. They're also just far better quality than something you would pay $1.25 for at the Dollar Tree. So they're not gonna crack and break on you. And speaking of the Dollar Tree, I did a comparison video recently where I shared how I use these multi-purpose bins in a closet, and then I took everything out and organized everything in that closet using all bins from the Dollar Tree, so you could see what you'll get if you splurge versus save. So go ahead and click below and watch that video next.